the WikiLeaks guy got freed.
He did. I don't know that
He's
many
a free
details about it,
man.
but yeah,
It's fucking crazy. I don't know.
it is
We were
fucking
just
crazy.
before the stream. We were talking about random shit, and
Yeah,
he popped in my mind. I know nothing about it. I just heard about it.
I want to see Edward Snowden doing all right. That's my big priority. But like, yeah, Julian Assange got freed. What do you think about it?
Cool. I don't know shit about him. Like I
I
know
know
he's
barely anything as
WikiLeaks,
well.
but like, does that really affect anything right now? I mean, the
Right.
most I can think is that they're gonna use him to like put out all these documents. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, WikiLeaks was like a hot button topic, but it's like now we're living in a generation of once in a generation things happening on a weekly basis, and it's like WikiLeaks in terms of
It's just like,
scale.
what are they gonna leak that we're not just admitting to at this point?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like quiet, like fucking the mid 2020s are like are the era of like a quiet part out loud. You don't really need WikiLeaks anymore.
also, if he leaks anything else, like the government's wanted them to do it at this point, because how the fuck are you gonna get him? You let him get away with it again?
There's aliens on tape now. Like we're it like did you just oh uh good to see you Echo Phase saying true story. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have like a stream going. I should probably pull up the
We actually
chat.
do have this. I did you actually click the square for the chat? I'm curious.
I don't do that in here. I'm not in VR, so I can just pull it
That's a
up.
good point. You could just pull it up on your own. That's up to you. Welcome to the thought bubble, by the way. We have our special guest, Julian Assange. You know, my only
Well,
stake in the
one day
game was
when
that
I'm in here
Lunar.
in VR, that is what I will do. But until
My
then,
only my only stake in the game was that Lunar made the chairs look sloppy when put away to my request, and that for that Lunar, you get a kiss goodnight from me.
I appreciate the button. I do not know when I will ever have need of it, but I appreciate that it's there for when that does happen.
It is actually deeply useful to me, and I say that unironically. It is. I deeply appreciate it, Lunar. Echo Face says, "Lol, wait, there's a stream? I thought you meant that literally for a second." Echo Face also says, "We love Lunar though." Yeah, Lunar. I
I
said
love that my
Echo Face for every
YouTube
single one of those.
refuses
I
to
could have
load the
just.
chat.
I didn't
That
have to
made
say the
wait,
username
maybe I
every
do need to push
time.
the button.
So what's the topic for
There we
today?
go.
Several.
But yeah,
Do you want to go first? Because I
don't
think
mind
you
me
have
getting.
more.
I do have more. I like that. I so we started doing notes for this show because I
Yeah.
thought that would be better for the flow and the pacing, and I think it's gone well so far.
Yes, yeah.
But I have been very slack about putting in mine ahead of time. Like I'll just put like 5 things in 2 hours before the show.
Well, yeah, you're like the thing is about the notes that like you were telling me that like you're the kind of person who needs notice for like the topics that I put in so that you can stir on it and like have things to say about it
Hmm.
during the show. I I think that you have like a lot less responsibility to put them in early because I'm like if you just told me about them right here on Front Street, I as a basically as a formality I check them before the show. You know, I'm totally cool with you just coming up to front base with them.
But yeah, but that
You
being
know,
said, one of my notes that I want to talk about is a bunch of music labels going after generative AI. Let's fucking
yeah, fuck
go.
generative AI.
Let's see. Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group are suing two AI startups, Suno and Udio. I've not heard of them, but apparently they are the forefront of the musical generative AIs. Um, and these labels, aided by the Recording Industry Association of America, claim the firms have engaged in willful copyright infringement at an almost unimaginable scale, which is an amazing
Nice.
quote.
Yeah. AI, you managed to fuck up so bad. I'm on the corporate side of this fucking dispute. You can eat my whole ass. Yeah, go right ahead, die.
Yeah, so far from what I've seen, and I'm the article I'm reading right now is from vulture.com. A lot of other sources are saying the same thing, so I'm presuming that they're right and these just have it laid out well. Um, the AIs, I want to say it was Suno or however the fuck you say it. Um, their defense is, will other people listen to your music and then make music based off of it? Our AI is just listening to your music and then making more music out of it. What's the difference? And that's the whole fucking argument. I think that is fucking hilarious.
It's the same bullshit that's been stirred in like in AI arguments before, and I'm just so exhausted by like I it's to the point where I don't even get into AI conversations anymore because it's like it's we know the difference. There's like your own personal experiences and perspectives outside of just what that AI has to offer that feed into what you then make out of songs. So even if like AI technically, let's say theoretically, uh, an AI would interpret whatever material it's fed in the same exact way as the human brain. Let's say for the sake of argument,
Mental jerk
there's
has joined the
still just
space.
a whole world and narrative and just fucking cluster of shit that is missing from the picture if all it is the interpretation of the art itself when putting together a piece. Like and I understand that there's gray areas here, but it's like, yeah, if all of the interpretation is just coming from the art itself, and there is nothing coming from a core experience of a creature. Let's say if the AI could go out and live a life of its own with its touch, taste, hear, and smell and all that. It's very important.
Yeah,
So for once I'm on the
like
corporate side here. Yeah.
AI is one of those things that's like the more I look into it, the more I'm like convinced that there has to be a human soul because like sure, it can make great images, it can make music that kind of sounds good, but like it's not art. I don't think it's art.
Nah. Yeah, and it's like it's cute. Like I'm not gonna like I won't lie. It'd be very disingenuous to say that I haven't seen or heard really cool shit coming out of AI. Like there's stuff that I thought was like, you know what? I can see that it's AI through like artifacts and shit. Sometimes I can't even find the artifacts. Like with that Spock thing I sent you a little while ago that I didn't know was AI when I sent
Yeah.
it. Um, yeah, it's like sometimes AI does make stuff that looks cool, and sometimes it's like cute to like see what especially with what was the one? It wasn't called like Face Gen. It was called you know the one I'm talking about where it did all sorts of like different stuff with your face, like gender swap and make you look younger or older. Everybody knows the thing. Yeah, like they're fun. Just don't put it in your final product for something you could have paid a real human being to do. Yeah.
Yeah, there was also talking about AI and final products. A24 is determined to ruin its reputation by
Oh
just
no.
continuously using AI generated imagery for their
Fucking what did
productions.
they do?
I forget which movie it was, but like recently, some of the images in one of their movies were generated via AI. And now for their upcoming Civil War film, a bunch of the posters are AI generated. And it's so
Wait,
painfully obvious because there's like a specific city they're showing in one of the posters, but just like one of the buildings is gone. That's like an icon of the city. And it's just like, really? Nobody fucking gave this a second look because they just pressed it into the AI and then fucking shipped it.
wait, sorry, do you mean the Civil War movie that like it takes place in the States and like, the one of the posters is like the thingy from the torch from the Statue of Liberty, but like a different kind of arrangement?
I don't remember that poster specific. It's the new one by
Yeah, I
A24.
I do think it already came out just to keep track of shit and put a timestamp on this. I don't think it's upcoming. But yeah, no. Um I haven't specifically noticed it. I haven't been looking for it in there, but I haven't noticed any AI artifacts, but that's some horse shit.
But it's just like A24 was so fucking good. And then they're like, oh, let me take a doo doo dump on all of our fucking shit by using all this AI.
Every big company has to have a point where they just fucking break their own kneecaps for of their goodwill. It's just like,
Yeah. Sorry, Banter. I know you all like AI, but fuck you.
yeah,
I mean,
Anyway,
it's art, right?
no,
no.
it's
No?
I mean, it's like it's
What?
art like. It's art
So,
But
like in the
is
same way that
images on a
vegan
yeah.
cheese is
screen
cheese.
does art make?
Yeah.
No, no.
So the
Yeah,
difference
it's like
between what is art is there's a human being behind it.
I think that
yeah,
is a very distinct part of art.
it's like in my
Because
opinion,
it
like
kind of is your art, right? It's
the
pulling from
reason
you.
that I part of the reason that I don't consider AI art, especially because like when people are talking about when someone like presents, I put in this prompt in this generator, I from a prompt engineer. But anyway, from like basically someone worked to like all the ideas in their head they put into this prompt that they um they put to a generator, it interpreted it, and they're like, oh yes, that's exactly what I was looking for, and they presented it to people. um if I want to ask you this question, actually, uh let's say you didn't go to an image generator. Let's say it was an image generator. And let's say you put that same prompt, but probably like more verbally put instead of like, designed for an AI to interpret. You gave that to an artist for them to then, draw it, paint it, whatever it is that you wanted. Uh, when they came back with it and posted that piece, would you then call that your art piece because you gave them the prompt? Or would you say that that's a piece that was the artist's?
Yeah, you would always credit the artist.
Yeah. And so like all of the so I guess that's a different argument. I think I'm
Yeah.
kind of diverging a little bit towards like
It's a
A
good one.
little.
Yeah.
no
But
one
It's a good
want
I
one.
well
get what
because
you're coming to because
yeah,
like AI works in such a fundamentally different way because everyone wants to act like the AIs are this perfect actual intelligence, which is just not true. Um, all of these have an algorithm that they're just sorting through, and all they're doing is like taking bits of what they've seen before with perfect accuracy as well, which I think inaccuracy is a part of art. Imperfection is a part of art, but it's just recycling and remashing everything, and like sure, no original idea under the sun, but when it's gone through a human mind, it is going through everything that human has gone through, whereas with an AI all of these are kind of detached from the reality of when they were made, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't
I
do it
mean,
with emotion. Yeah.
it feels a little bit like, okay, let's say you're watching a movie where there's like scenes with like um the characters get introduced, of course, and then there's conflict between this dynamic of people, and then at the end there's some twist, there's maybe an action scene, there's a blue sky beam, some shit, and then bad guy dies, saves the day, credits roll. All of that happens, but in a way where you didn't connect with the characters, and it just felt like a whole bunch of boxes were ticked, like is a general complaint of a lot of movies recently. It feels like ticking boxes instead of like, oh, let's really like chew into what narrative crafting really means. When AI puts together something that it thinks you want to see for that, that tends to be the same kind of feeling I get out of it. This AI thinks this is what this looks like and this is what you will like because this is what everything else looked like. But it doesn't capture the same magic, especially because like it doesn't have the same human touch. Like you can see brush strokes often if you look close enough
Yeah.
on human art. And like, yeah, there are still imperfections in AI art, but they obviously mean a different thing. A human put this together, and that's if that's not the point of art for a something and or someone that lived a life and they're making this thing because either they want to sustain their own life by like taking their own interpretations. Someone else pays them to do this thing, or out of their own fruition. Hey, this thing meant something to me. Like fan art, for instance. This thing meant something to me. And so I'm going to show the world what is in my brain interpreted, the good or the bad or the ugly. The ugly is a bad phrasing, but like, the raw of it's about interpretation, and just AI art doesn't have interpretation. And so if it's not about
Yeah.
interpretation, what the fuck is art?
See, I would say
Yeah.
that art is to elicit an emotion in the viewer. And so, like, an AI generated thing can be art, just like a human generated thing can be art, or an algorithmically generated thing can be art. But, like, not all of those things necessarily are art. Because, like,
I think
I could write an
I
algorithm to just randomly go through and pick a random color and assign it to a pixel in an image and do that for every pixel in an image and like make a statement about the random image that I generated, and like that could be art because I'm using the random generation to then make a further statement or commentary. But like if you're just putting in cute fluffy bunny into an AI, you're just getting a cute fluffy bunny picture, and that's not art. There's no creativity, there's no commentary about the world and the way things are and the way things could be, which is like necessary for it to be art, in my opinion.
yeah.
I'd say I
Or
mostly
also
agree. I diverge in the way that art is meant to elicit a response. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Right.
yeah.
I think art
I yeah.
is just as equally art as just a raw expression, even if nobody else sees it. But that is getting into philosophy of art in
Right.
general as opposed to just AI art. So maybe we'll leave it there.
Yeah. Though I want to make the extra point here that I in for anyone watching in the future or listening here that who this isn't clear to, we're not putting a floor to like human made art. If you want to like just scrap something together with a crayon and a post-it note somewhere, that's some art. And I think put that as many places as you want to. I love to I I'd love to see that. I would put it on my wall. It's like it's not a thing about quality. It's not a thing about how AI makes stuff that looks like shit. It's just about the meaning behind it. If you love that
Instant
crayon piece
gratification.
genuinely,
Yeah.
unironically, that means just as much as like the Mona Lisa. But the Mona Lisa was made by a human being,
Right.
just like that. Yeah.
It's part of the instant gratification of our new lifestyles. We want it
hmm
now. We don't want to
You have
do
to
the work.
consciously avoid it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, one of the
Oh.
things how do I want to phrase this because I just lost it. Um, One of the things that kind of gets me about how the AI corporates, the suits making all of these AI, they just want to how do I want to phrase this? They want to
Just
cut
want to make
out
profit.
the paying the artists and wasting the time on waiting for the artists to actually make something where when they could just like, oh hey, everybody go be the idea person that everyone's told you doesn't exist, because it doesn't. Nobody is hired on as an idea person, but that's what they want to do
MRJ
now.
has
They
joined
want
the
the
space.
prompt engineers and shit like that, which as far as I've ever heard from anyone whose company has made them try to put in for a prompt engineer role, never fucking works. They end up firing them immediately.
Well, that's a relief
So it's
almost.
just like they want everybody to be an idea person, but that's just not how it
Mm.
works.
Yeah. I
People
uh
run out
I
of ideas.
I mean, it kind of comes down to when it comes to down to idea people, it's like obviously this phrase wasn't invented by this man. It's just the last person I heard it from, and I don't remember who originally said it. But I remember from Dan Povenmire personally. There's no such thing as an idea so bad that someone who's great at executing it couldn't make it great. There's no such thing as an idea so good that someone without any skill couldn't fuck it up. Yeah, paraphrasing, of course. He didn't say
Yeah.
fuck, but
That's why you
yeah.
need good crafters. And you don't just hire idea people, because most of the
Crafting
people who
takes
only
time.
come in with ideas, that's their only thing they can do.
Crafting takes time
Hmm.
and life and interpretation. Fix craft. Well, I mean,
Anyway,
literally.
fuck
I mean,
AI.
that's
It
the
also drains the planet. Like, oh my god,
yeah.
the environmental impact of it all. Holy shit.
It's basically the new NFTs, which a lot of NFTs are AI generated. Probably. I just realized I didn't put that together in my head until now.
No.
But yeah. Uh, though, I mean, do you have anything more to say on that? You seem pretty passionate, though. I wonder if I could use this as a segue.
Go ahead.
Um, Speaking of human-made art, I've been really excited. This is like the only topic that I like specifically brought today, because I'm just so giddy about this like little simple thing. Um, there's so I've been of course putting together animated shorts, been trying to do that, and I've been trying to create as few obstacles in my way as possible to get from where I am now in terms of just having a bunch of scripts to animating it raw. And the part that I get stuck on with a lot of them is storyboarding, especially because it's like kind of hard to convince yourself, especially if you're feeling a little down or out of it, to like, bring out the equipment and like fire up the whole animation software just for storyboarding. It kind of starts to feel there's a part of it that starts to feel silly even if you're passionate about it. And I'm like,
IT Trey
maybe
has
there's a way
joined
I
the
could
space.
maybe there's a way I could put this together on my phone. Especially because we were talking earlier about like rearranging our home screens, to being a little more directly useful for this. I put this on my home screen. I don't know if anybody here's heard of Flip a Cup, at least in passing. Um, it's an app for animating on mobile. It's quite a good app as far as I've seen. And you're supposed to be able to make fully fledged out animations with it, and I fully believe in its ability to do that. But I've been using it for storyboarding. At first, I got like a quarter of the way through storyboarding the first short that I was like really chewing on. I not only finished that one, but then the next day finished another storyboard for a completely other one. And the plan that I've started having is when I go out for my runs, because I have this little like checkpoint specific bench that I go to at a nearby park. Uh, I'm like, oh, if the spirit moves me at the time, I can whip out my phone and a little stylus, which I didn't realize how much I would love using a stylus with my phone. And that's just like
Makes a
it's
difference.
nothing fancy, it's just a cheap stylus, and it works well because I'm not gonna like stubby finger like the storyboard together. That's not appealing to me. You know, I absorb the atmosphere of the park and I'm like storyboarding together shit that like I could be sitting at my computer doing, but now I'm outside and I could do it anywhere, waiting for an appointment somewhere or online for something. I could just knock it out and get to actually animating sooner. And I'm so excited about it. I do it in bed when I have trouble sleeping. I do it in the morning when I'm like feeling a little groggy and out of it and just want to get a little like dopamine hit from accomplishing something, and it works out so well, especially the limitations of the style is because then you're like kind of forced to simplify it because storyboarding requires simplifying it, of course, and I'm always tempted to put in too much detail, but then that ends up overwhelming you past a certain point because you do too much too fast, and it's like you're focusing too deeply. You just need to get the general idea out. It's perfect for that, especially on a small screen. But yeah,
What
I
did
would
you
give
say
that
the
a
app was?
Flip a Cup. There were a couple that I looked at, but
Do you
that was
mean
like the
flip
most
a
highly
clip?
rated one. Of course, I fucking knew I was getting it. I keep getting names of things wrong on this show. Thank you, Ashley.
What was the
So
last word again? What did you say.
I said flip a cup, and I knew it had to be wrong. But yeah, first play Town Scraper on your computer, and then animate your experience using flip a cup. They come back to us and make something AI generated out of it. No, so Townscaper flip a clip, which makes more sense. Thank you very much.
You say
Uh,
an AI wouldn't have made the mistake of Town Scraper.
right. They would have been
See,
perfect.
now
And
this is art.
now this is all right. I just had to completely. I wonder how many head scratches came from that. Just like, is he ever gonna
You're just
find
like,
out? But
flip
yeah,
a cup? What the fuck is
flip a
that?
cup. Cause like
It's
Why
apps
is it
have
named
weird
like
names
that?
sometimes, and I'm like, I
it's
guess that
bizarre,
had to be
yeah.
true. It's just because it's like it sounded close enough, and I'm like, sure, why not? A cup of ideas, animation, I guess.
2D.
Yeah. I mean, like, well-known graphic manipulation programs called GIMP. I know it's an acronym for something that makes more sense, but like, yeah,
What does GIMP stand for?
GNU Image
GNU image
Manipulation
manipulation
Program.
Okay, cool. I'll never know because you were both saying it at the same time. But
Sorry, you say it, Lunar. You're better at saying it.
GNU
I
Image
looked it up. I read
Manipulation
it.
Program.
Fucking, you were speaking at the same time as at that time. I
Yeah,
have
nobody
no
needs to know.
responsibility.
Fuck GIMP. Anyway.
Fuck you. It's also the world's most Googleable thing. But thank you, Lunar. Twice over. Mm, mm,
One thing I want to go because we kind of tapped on AI again there as a joke, but one actual AI thing,
mm.
Windows Recall. I had like kind of heard about it every now and then. And I finally like genuinely looked into what the fuck it was. Sounds horrifying. Do you know anything about Windows Recall?
Yeah, isn't it that like literally by definition Big Brother on your laptop, where it's like recording
Yes.
every single fucking thing you
Yeah.
do? I'm not
Yeah,
hyperbolizing for those
it's
who aren't familiar.
what every few seconds or something it takes a screenshot.
It's
Aren't they doing that anyway?
okay, but
Yeah,
like
that's fair. But like,
Right.
that this brings it out of the realm of conspiracy theory. And I'm not saying it's an invalid conspiracy theory. It's perfectly plausible, but like now it's in advertising. It's if they already were doing it, now it's just insulting.
Do
You're
they
just like,
pay
now
yeah,
we're
you?
gonna
they're like, oh,
advertise it
you'll
to you,
fucking
bitch.
bend over and take it.
So are
Do
they
Yeah.
they pay
asking
you?
you? Or I was going to ask, do you have to pay for the software?
No, they pay
Is that
you.
Initially,
is
it
it a
came with the
service?
laptop, like as a thing you had to like automatically turn off
Yeah.
I see. I see.
if you
Yeah, I
wanted
do
to, if you wanted
believe
not
it
to.
is opt-in now,
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should be
which
from what
is
I've
paying you.
not
heard.
Google
much
pays you.
better, but yeah.
At
Yeah,
least it's
now
not
that
auto
everyone's
approval.
already been forcibly opted in, now it's opt-in.
Right. Well, I
It's
mean,
the
how much
To
Windows
be fair,
11 thing, is it?
I think it was originally you had to opt out on like the models of computer that weren't even being sold yet, and they swapped it to opt in like on release, on
Hmm.
public release.
Okay, I was just gonna say
So
because
like
I'm like, was there
not to
like
defend Microsoft because fuck
right?
Microsoft, but
Fuck Microsoft.
Yeah.
like I do believe on release it's opt in.
Yeah, I was curious about if there was a little sliver of time where like how many did they really sell before they switched that up? But yeah, no,
But
I'm
they
a
could
little
also
bit
change it
relieved. Credit
again,
where it's due.
and it's
Yeah,
Microsoft, so
yeah.
they
They might
probably
not
will
even
switch it
tell
again.
you, knowing some Windows updates.
Probably not.
Yeah,
They should
yeah.
be
Yeah.
paying
Yeah,
you.
it'll just be a placebo button. It doesn't actually do anything except like
Wait,
Yeah.
toggle the updates or like whether it shows the user stuff.
Right.
I want to hear you say that again for the people in the back.
Well, they should be paying you for
Yeah,
your
if they want your
photos and your
goddamn
For
info,
your
they
data.
should be
data.
paying you.
Yeah,
Google
Exactly.
yeah.
does. Google will pay
They
you.
say they don't take any of the information to their servers. It's all on your hardware.
Horse shit.
Bullshit. Horse,
I'm
bull,
just saying
whatever.
what they're
I don't know.
saying.
I'll sell you
I
some
know, I
oceanfront
know.
property and
You
you
were
can
I
put
buy
in a
don't
very
it.
bad
believe
position
them.
as
I
Microsoft's
believe
puppet
them
very temporarily.
for now. I believe them for now. It's always up to they'll change it at a moment's fucking notice.
Do you think that they'll broaden that to because that was for a very specific line of computers? Do you think do you think they'll broaden that to like their like to just
Every
general
computer,
Windows machines?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Every computer that can like
Every
that handle that kind of operation because I think they needed like a special Qualcomm chip or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm into technology, not that fucking far though.
Like, oh yeah, so the advertised use case of it, if I remember correctly, was excuse me, of course I didn't mute myself to do that, was that you could go back in like your history. Was that it, or was there more to it?
Yeah, it's like
Mm.
a handful of months it will store, and you could then ask Windows Copilot or whatever they're calling it, like a general question about like, hey, what was that website I went to that was about whatever topic that was about biscuits? What was that biscuit recipe that I read 2 weeks ago? And it can pull that back up for you.
And skip past the childhood story at the beginning of the biscuit recipe if it's
Yeah.
at all convenient to you, Copilot. Um, I
True.
something that a little bit confuses me about this, not too much, is I don't know what it was called off the top of my head, but like didn't
Well,
starting
Windows
in
Recall
Win
could have remembered it for you.
but fair, but wasn't there a function of I don't remember if it started in Windows 8 ish or 10, but there was like that thingy that was originally next to the Windows button that gave you a little like like it was a whole like advertised thing like for that version of Windows where it gave you a browser-esque sorta history of your computer usage and like you could like just put Copilot with that. I guess maybe it wasn't detailed enough, and so they wanted like I'm saying for the absolute best case scenario for this, provided this wasn't a horrible invasion of privacy, you know, I guess
Just has
that history
Cortana.
wasn't detailed enough for that for them to like feed Copilot into it to just use it anyway. Also, I don't know if computers still even have that because I haven't used it in a while. I haven't noticed
I
if a
don't
button
know. And I
lapsed.
mean, it would have the context of like everything that's written in there
Yeah.
as well. And like the
Hmm.
context of images that are on the web page to be like, oh, where did I see an image that looks like this? Things like that. So it's like it's a cool feature, but it's never going to be done well because of the privacy concerns,
Yeah.
Also, on top of that,
especially from Microsoft.
you said
Like
it took a
Microsoft, Google, all of those tech giants, fucking don't trust them a single second not to sell my shit.
Yeah.
You said it you said it like took a photo every few minutes?
Let me look it up before because let's see.
Cuz
Microsoft.
Hey,
I'm
I'm
thinking
pretty sure Google doesn't sell your data. It says in their privacy policy that they don't sell your data.
They'll
I
pay you
I
for it,
couldn't
but they
figure
don't
out where
sell
the
it.
air quotes were, but you most definitely had them somewhere. I
No, they
I could
don't
hear it.
sell
I
your
I
data.
just had to feel around in the dark.
As in, like,
Yeah.
they'll
Right.
give it away for free, but they don't sell
Oh, I
it.
see.
Well,
Okay,
they buy
okay.
it from you, so they buy it from you first because they do pay you.
Wait,
Recall snapshots are taken every 5 seconds.
oh, okay. Because I was okay. Because
Wow,
the way
that's
that it was first phrased, I thought, oh, is this every like maybe 5 minutes? Because then if you're searching through it with Copilot, how much stuff is in between the gaps between the screenshots? But then that's worse because now a screenshot of every single 5 seconds that you have. Also, how much battery does that chow down on?
that's
Because
a
that's
lot
like
of battery,
laptops primarily that it's being used on,
Yeah,
especially if it's
if not
local.
it's
entirely.
fucking crazy. You can say for it to not activate when certain apps are open or certain web
Mhm.
pages, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. I don't know about web pages. But certain apps being open, you'd be like, oh, don't take snapshots anymore. So that's something.
That's probably them. Like
Again,
I
like
have to think
this would all be really cool if it wasn't like Microsoft.
right.
If we could actually trust this product, it would be really cool.
Yeah.
I I have a feeling there's all sorts of obvious reasons to have the oh when this program is open don't do that, but I have a feeling that's because okay with the recent Adobe thing that everybody assumed was about generative AI, when it really turned out to be oh so much worse. But that's a whole other thing to get into. um, basically they were taking ownership of stuff that very well could be under NDA because of how many professionals use Adobe software, and like they're like, oh, we have exclusive license to all your, not exclusive, we have, oh yeah, like indiscriminate license to all the stuff that you make with our software, everything you do in it. Um, and I'm thinking that with, what's the name of the thing with the screenshots? I forgot the name of what they were
Recall.
calling it. Recall, thank you. Uh, with Recall, I'm thinking with excluding certain apps, that's them intending to get around the NDA complaint of like, oh yeah, you can't like do that with some stuff because legally speaking, that's private. Well, okay, it's also being
Well,
done
again,
locally, but yeah,
yeah, it's, if they stick to everything being local and on your device, it wouldn't matter.
sure.
I think they're doing it so that, like, if you're typing in your banking information, it's not going to screenshot your bank information.
Massive hole in this. God, what if? Oh,
Which, I mean, it easily could if you just let it, but you have to let it
yeah. They need to have an auto
for
detector for
now.
that. Oh shit, this looks like, because there has to be some variety of like autofill that they can reverse engineer implement with this, where it's like, oh, you're filling out an extremely sensitive document right now. We're gonna turn this function off automatically. That'd be nice.
It
Maybe
would be
some web
nice.
page companies will actually have that written in their code, a block almost.
I hope that's possible. Though I don't trust government. I don't trust government websites to keep up with that. But that's a very nice thought. No, I would like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they still use paper.
Yeah, for sure. With shredders and
Yeah.
So
They're
that's
all
assuming
shredders.
that anything that's going on to that website actually behaves according to that website's code or anything,
Mm,
because they
Yeah.
could just fucking ignore it.
it's a lot of
That's a
variables.
huge case with another AI lawsuit. I don't remember the full details of this one, but like a big thing was that they were explicitly ignoring the robots.txt or whatever thing that's on websites, that tell it to fuck off, and they just scraped the website anyway.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wait, is it that easy to get? But you're talking about captchas, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
No, there's websites, as far as I understand it, and I'm probably not the best authority on this, but
Mm.
from what I understand, robots.txt is just a text file that HTML whatever websites host on the website that will tell an AI, robot, whatever, how to engage with that website properly. It's basically a terms of use for the robot,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the
You can
AI
also have
companies
it
are
in
just
the head
fucking
of
ignoring it.
the document as well.
Mhm.
Huh.
But then yeah, if you write your bot to just ignore that and scrape it anyway, then it'll scrape it
Then it wouldn't
anyway.
matter. That's a
A
no
pinky
walk
swell.
on the
I'm not
grass
going to scrape
sign.
the
That's all
website.
it is.
I'm interested to play with it now.
God, I no. Okay. I'm just gonna vent for a second. 'Cause I know that's like half of what we've already done. But I know there's just millions of different extremely legitimate uses for bots. Like the just automating stuff that really should be automated. And there are certain cases of AI in certain places that could be more beneficial than other means of getting to those things. But God, I'm so exhausted by bots and AI, especially AI. Obviously, we've been there, but like oh God, all the countermeasures for bots and how much they don't work from the malicious ones. Sometimes it's such a fucking eye clawing headache, and oh, it just chews away at you after a while.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
sucks. Gotta love
fuck
capitalism.
coders. No.
Pushing
Uh,
shitty products.
what if? What if we just like landed on that? What if I just died on that hill? Fuck coders. No. We love our coders. I had a point that I was getting to, and I don't remember what it was.
I think your point that you
Fuck
were
it.
getting to was fuck coders. I think that was it.
I no, I
I
fuck
hate
coders
every
asterisk
programmer
JK
ever.
JK on last. Fuck coders slash s.
Yeah, fuck coders. That's why I tell Lunar to do a bunch of shit and then don't use it.
Fuck coders. He says on the
Ah,
podcast that like the one person who I'm pretty sure will hear this, I know is a coder, and is who is a person I am a very good friend. of. And I, you know, I mean, I could just say I know Shiseki watches a bunch of these, and he's got some fantastic coding projects. Shiseki. Oh God, I was. I don't know if I was gonna say like you're one of the good ones.
I
Oh
almost
no,
went to college for IT. And I think
you could have
like
done pretty
out of
well.
all of the decisions that I've ever made, not doing IT was my best decision.
I think the fact that I would put a decent bet that you have a pretty all right hairline, and I don't think that that would be the same if you had a job in IT.
Absolutely not. I'd be fucking bald. Fuck
You
computer. I hate computers. They stress
you
me
would
the hell
fully
out.
look like Georgina Costanza over here if you had to put up with the bullshit that AI IT has to put up with. Uh,
Can't believe you just called me an AI.
I no, actually I don't mean it. But yeah,
I think we got all of our thoughts out about AI, right?
I hope so. I'm so
For now.
exhausted about it.
Until the next lawsuit. Anyway.
Until the next episode, we're gonna find
Right.
something to complain about with AI.
Well, by the next episode, there's probably going to be another lawsuit. Anyway.
I think we're gonna say gonna be another AI that's like taking the world by storm, and I'm like, I would
Oh,
I
yeah.
would bet organs in my body on that.
They will need those organs eventually.
Yeah,
They will take
to
them
power the
eventually.
yeah, they're gonna harvest them into their Microsoft laptops.
Oh man. 3D print your new organ.
Yeah. Well, so what was your next topic, Ashley? Tell me you had something
Uh,
uplifting. I don't remember the list.
so, um, for a while, I have been using a SteelSeries wireless headset. And the reason did that because before I had the Sony WH-XM4s, which are an amazing headset that I'm using right now. But the reason that I was using the SteelSeries after that is not because the sound quality was good. After wearing the XM4s again, holy shit, I forgot how good audio can sound, even
Are
wirelessly.
we tickling your eardrums?
It just the highs it can reach and the lows it can keep clarity in is so fucking nice.
Ooh.
um, but um, one thing that I wait, let me finish my previous statement. The reason I was using it is I would have my ex sit next to me at the computer, and I couldn't like my Bluetooth was fucking weird, and it still is weird to where like I couldn't find a good way to get two audio sources so she could wear a headset and I could wear a headset at the same time instead of just using a speaker because we were on calls and then speaker would cause feedback and it was not good. Um, we broke it up, so I don't need that shit anymore. And I can actually have good audio quality in my life again. And
Oh,
so,
that's a twist.
Plot twist.
Do go on.
but so to fully flesh it out, the reason I was using that is it had a base station that I could then plug another headset into. So it was like daisy
Ooh.
chaining them almost. It was nice. Um,
Cool.
I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna sell that headset. Fuck that. Um, it's a really comfortable headset, and that's the nicest thing I could say about it. Um, the XM4 is fucking great, but this is a really old pair I got when they like first came out, so they're kind of creaky now when I move. So I have bought the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, which I think are about as equally old of a headset, but hope I'm getting them new, so hopefully they won't be creaky.
With Sony headphones, I
Um,
forgot that headphone names could sound cool again.
yeah, the,
It-
I only recently learned that the WH stands for wireless headphones. So fucking dumb. Why did they do that?
Sony! Oh my god.
And it sucks because they make some of the best wireless headphones. But from what I've heard of from reviews, the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, they're only negative versus the XM4s or even XM5s. Um,
The
is
AI generate
their
music into your ears.
no, the ANC isn't as good. And it's like I don't really need my active noise canceling to be that good. I kind of just need to get rid of the hum in my room from time to time. And so I am like religiously refreshing the Amazon delivery screen for when these headsets come in today because I fucking can't wait.
Now, if
I
it
love
arrives during
audio.
the episode, if it arrives during the episode, will you do an audio only unboxing of these headphones and will you gush to us all?
Ooh.
We'll turn
Well,
this
it
into a
says it's
90.
arriving at 5 p.m., so I don't think that's going to be in the cards. But I would
Book
do
it,
it.
driver!
Do you get a countdown in America of and a map showing you where the driver is?
Only 10
Once they get
stops
to
away.
10
Yeah.
or
Oh
15
yeah, it's the
stops
same
away.
here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can
Yeah.
follow them, and then you can see the van pull up, and then you can see the van leave, and you're like,
And it stays in one spot
and
2
it's
blocks
not
away
being
for like
delivered.
an hour.
Yeah.
Hold on, there's
Yeah,
something in
get
my
No,
out
my
eye.
of it.
Hold
favorite
on.
is when they fucking miss my house and have to do a full cul-de-sac roundabout. It's like, god damn it, just read the fucking signs on the houses. It's not that hard. The same thing happens with Uber Eats when I order delivery. It's just like fucking
Oh man.
it's right there.
Yeah.
I need to start putting landmarks in my delivery instructions. It's like, oh, it's the one with the big fucking car in front.
See, I have similar
I do not have a big
problems, and
fucking
I'm
car.
not sure why, because if you use Google Maps, it literally takes you into the driveway. So.
Yeah.
I thought you were
But
going to
Google
say
Maps will
into your
also tell you
house.
to turn north, so fuck Google
Assuming
Maps.
there's no sunspots, of course, because when the sun does its thing.
You know
Yeah.
how with
Yeah.
like Amazon deliveries, for instance, or whatever, you might see a picture of your delivery, like you or with certain services you'll see like a picture of your delivery when it arrives. I would just love if one of those was just like, oh, behind your back, over your shoulder as you're checking it.
God.
That'd be fun.
I've gotten ones of me holding it because I've went out and like gotten it from the driver before they even got out of the fucking thing to deliver it.
Yeah.
They should like toss it to you and take a picture while it's midair, and it's just like there's no implication that you caught it, but it got to your property.
Oh, if I got a picture like that, I would definitely say it broke and ask for a refund.
We
I
can
thought you were
ask
gonna say
AI
like
to
I'd frame
generate
it or
us
something.
one. Just tell AI to generate it.
Hey AI, can you
Oh,
fix
yeah.
this photo to make it look like this thing shattered all over my porch?
Send it in.
When do we get the drone delivery? Aren't we supposed to have that by now? It's like we're supposed to have flying cars by now, right? And
Oh,
we haven't even
I
got
think
drone delivery of packages.
they did a test run of the drones like a few
I mean,
years
we
back,
have
and everyone
drones.
fucking hated it.
Yeah,
They
And
did
we
a
so
still
test run of the
everybody
technically
gave up
drones,
on it.
and a whole
Yeah.
town took up baseball that had never played before.
Yeah, they're still
Well, no,
they're
but they,
still
the
doing
I
it.
think
drones
that is
stay
also
high and
literally true.
they come down on a little wire now.
You can hear them humming.
It's like
Yeah,
those
You can.
weird.
delivery robots that you can see on the sidewalk, and people just fucking kick them over, and it's just like, damn,
They're lame, yeah.
I
fuck
They're
chase
so
that,
lame.
dude. But
Nobody
God,
wants it.
talking about deliveries though, because we're getting to kind of to the end of our show, and we're just gonna talk bullshit now. On my Uber Eats like delivery instructions, I specifically put do not knock, do not ring doorbell because I live with other people and an animal, so I don't want any of them to freak out about like who's at the door or whatever. And normally I'll
We
just
have a
go out
gun.
and meet them and in accompanying that message is just if I can't come out or for whatever reason, they'll just leave the doorbell alone. One time we went out to go get the fucking food and they're just like, you need to take that message out because I'd rather not get a tip that or I in my message I'll say I will lower your score. I will lower your delivery score
Mm.
because I know that's their most important fucking thing because they could like fucking lose their job over it. And it's like, don't fuck it. It's the easiest thing in the world to keep your job. Don't hit the fucking button.
I'm asking
And
you
they
to
got
do less
really
work for
mad,
more money.
literally. and they got mad at me being like, "Oh, you don't fuck with somebody's scores." Like, okay, don't fuck with my doorbell then. It's that easy. If you can't do that, don't have the job. Like, come on. There's very few things I get genuinely pissed off at for service workers, and it's like, when you can't just fucking do the simplest goddamn thing, maybe you don't even deserve that service job. Like,
It's like
please.
I know that I like this was like a joke the way that I put it, but it does get to me how it's like it's the specific instances where you're asking them, "Hey, I am happy and prefer it when you do less than what you're used to doing, just getting it to my property." And then and then they have that demand, and just because it's part of their flow. But I don't know. That hits a very specific mark in my head. It's like all you got to do is just the slightest fraction less, and then we're good. You don't have to go the extra mile.
So, Ashley,
Yeah,
would you
and
say
just
that
to
you're
make it
for the
clear,
death penalty for people that ring your doorbell or knock on your door?
look, I'm not for the death penalty. I think some people should definitely get killed though. That's my stance.
I
Like,
okay. If okay, I was afraid I'd get it. Our fucking show kicked off of Banter or YouTube, like, but no,
It's
for
fine. It's
God save
context,
past
us,
by
the
the way,
5 minute
USA.
mark or whatever.
for for context,
I,
by the way, we were talking about the death penalty and what each of us feel about it, just before the show. Um, yeah,
except for me until now. I do it on
yeah.
the show because I'm not a fucking pussy. Anyway,
I don't like the death penalty. I'm gonna give a big ol' to that one. Ashley is
I
passionately in
don't
favor of the death penalty. She would like it for
I
even
that's not what I said.
misdemeanors. Jaywalking
That's not
deserves
what
the
I
death
said.
penalty in Ashley's mind.
No, no, just ringing her
No,
doorbell or
in
knocking on
my
her door
mind,
deserves the death penalty. That's it, though.
look, the castle doctrine is one of my favorites. Anyway, I do want to say for clarity, I did not lower that Uber driver's score on the app. I did, however, take their tip because they said they'd rather that happen. So I am nothing if not petty.
It's a fair trade. But
If
yeah,
you're gonna fucking come at me at like 5 in the afternoon with an attitude, it's like you've been awake for too long to have this horrible of an attitude with me right now on a beautiful fucking Sunday. Fuck off.
on the Lord's day, let alone.
On the Lord's Day. But I don't think they
Also,
deserve death penalty. I do not. I am not in favor of a nation or state that has the death penalty as a function of their judicial system. States and nations should not have that power of life over its citizens. However, some of those citizens should die.
just like
Might not. They
through
might be
different means.
diluting the gene pool here.
I agree.
I
Except for that last part,
That part's the joke. That's the joke part.
You can't
I
trust your judicial system, though.
No,
So that's the
they should
issue,
just
isn't it?
yeah,
bring
You
back
because
can't.
eye
like
for an
there's
eye.
there's a lot of like debates that happen surrounding like on it like we poke fun about like these like severe topics, but like there's a lot of debates surrounding severe laws and surrounding controversial topics that stem from them or they come as a result of uh it's like yeah, sometimes I feel like people don't consider the fact that oh yeah, the law is not perfect, and even less
Yeah,
so are many of the people enforcing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, would you trust them with your like philosophically existential query? No, not with something that fucking deep. Even if I thought the death penalty was ethical by some perfect means, which I don't, but even if I did, I don't trust the fucking state. Are you kidding me? You out of your mind? No.
Exactly.
according to
Yeah.
the Death Penalty Information Center, a 2014 study estimated that 4% of those sentenced to death are innocent.
It's
I'll bet
So
it's
no, I
You
don't
more.
think
said
the
that as
death
I took
penalty
off my
should
headset for a
exist.
second. That is
I don't think the death
mortifying.
penalty should exist because
That
like,
is-
unless we know for certain, and I don't even think that the state should still never be able to exert
the
its
fact that they
will
know
on
they're
a person's
innocent.
life like that.
That's a nearly 1 in 20 chance. That's
Like, oops,
horrendous.
sorry. Sorry,
Inexcusable.
we killed your family.
Yeah. Fuck that. Also, sorry, there's no good segue into this, but I did want to talk about this before the episode ends. I currently I have something in my eye, and I genuinely like can't look at my calendar to check, but this might be the last episode before Pride Month ends. So happy Pride Month as well. Just to cap off the end of it. If not, we only have like one more episode before. But yeah, anyway,
This is the last episode. before
this is
Pride
the
Month
last
ends.
episode.
Yes,
Before
and then it
Pride
will be
Month.
No
Wrath
cops of
Month.
Pride.
Yeah, but
Breast
but
cancer.
yeah. Anyway, support trans lives, kids and adults, gay rights and all that. I think we probably like stamp that on Front Street, but just to make sure. And yeah, support your fellow queers. I'm gonna throw in that 2 cents. I'm gonna be able to open my eyes eventually. But yeah, so do we wanna give any kind of outro, or do we want to just cap it off?
End the show.
Yeah.
Turn it.